All right, now in the last module, I showed you how to set up all of your keywords that you did from keyword research and put it all and start writing your listing in Listing Builder. So what you're gonna have to do is, hopefully you went back to watch Kevin's modules on how to properly set up a title and bullet points and description, and then actually wrote your listing out in Listing Builder. Now, how do you get that from the first time to Amazon? Actually, after you get it the first time, you're gonna be able to sync it directly with just a click of a button. But the very first time that you create your listing, you're going to need to copy and paste these fields that you put in Listing Builder into Amazon. Where do you do that? Watch this. I'm here in Amazon Seller Central. I'm going to go to inventory and I'm going to do add a product. All right. Now, if this is a brand new product, which it should be, if this is your first product, you are going to say, I am adding a product not sold on Amazon. So you're going to click here. And now you're going to search for a category. Now, we were creating a makeshift coffin shelf product. So let's just type in floating shelves and let's find that category. Here's home decor floating shelves. Let's go ahead and select this. Okay. And now it brings us to here. I'm going to go into advanced view. I like doing advanced view. Now, does the product have variations? I'm going to put no. This is a little bit complicated to do variations. You're probably not going to do that for your first one anyways. Product ID. This is something you need. Now, this is something that Kevin in other modules has said how to get. This is like your UPC or EAN. You can get it from GS1, which is where you absolutely should get it from. You're going to go ahead and put that here. Product name, this is the title. And a lot of times you are going to get a tooltip here that tells you how many characters you can have. So you can see in this one, it says max 250 characters. All right. So you'd want to keep it actually under 200. Usually 250 is probably too long of a title. But anyways, I'm going to go back to the Listing Builder, and this is just a sample listing I have here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this. All right. And let's go ahead and paste it right here in product name. Okay. Now, this is important. Brand name. All right. Look at this. This product does not have a brand name. It says here, to list your products after your brand is enrolled, enter the brand name exactly as you submitted it for brand approval and specify a unique value for the attribute. All right. You can always edit the product details later in manage inventory. Now, this is something that changes often. All right. What was working 2 years ago or a year ago when this happened was I would put like an N-A or an NA there. There's different ways that work. Otherwise, I would get an error called brand 5665 error. There's actually a blog I wrote on the Helium 10 blog. You go to helium10.com/blog, type in brand 5665. You can see an old article that I wrote about all the different errors that would come up. All right. So that's what I would have to do before if I didn't have my own brand registry. Right? Brand registry is something that we actually talk about here in Freedom Ticket. It's really important to get afterwards, but for your first one, you probably don't have it. So there's different ways you can go about this. Now you can actually go and tell Amazon, hey, I'm about to add a new product. I don't have brand registry, but this is the brand that I want to call it. All right. And you actually have to show them pictures of your product and the packaging. And there has to be like either the UPC code of it, you have to have that UPC code on there that you're about to use here and a picture of the product, like I said, along with something that shows the logo and brand name that you're trying to call it. So in this case, it's Manny's Mysterious Oddities. I would have had to have, before I actually got to this point, tell Amazon, hey, I am about to create this new listing. This is the brand that I have. All right. Now, here's the thing. When you create your very, very first listing, it might be way before you actually have the product in hand. You're just trying to create the product so that you can have your factory in China or wherever put the FN SKU sticker on the listings, right? So how do you do it without having that available? There's still ways to do it. You can actually have your factory make a sample, make a full sample for you, and then do a mock-up. You know, it has to be real. It can't be like when I say mock-up, I don't mean, you know, trying to use 3D imagery or doing Photoshop or something. Sometimes that works, but if they know it's a Photoshop, you're going to get in trouble and with Amazon. You don't want to do that. So you sometimes have to actually have your factory, hey, make a label, put the logo on it, and just take some pictures and show it to me. All right. It doesn't have to be professional pictures. Actually, it's better if it's not professional pictures. Sometimes take a cell phone picture and just say, hey, Amazon, open up a case with Amazon. Amazon, I'm about to make this new product with this UPC number. Can I have the rights to create it with this brand without brand registry? And they might tell you, yes, you can. The other way is you can actually hit here, this product doesn't have a brand name, and just put it right here in the manufacturer, the brand name, because then it still usually will start showing up there in on Amazon with the brand name under, if you have it here under manufacturer. And then later, when you actually can prove that this is your brand, then you go and open up a case with Amazon and say, hey, can you please change the brand name to this? All right. But the first option is try and take care of that all in the first time when you're creating this so that you don't have any issues. All right. So this is something like I said, that changes like every couple of months. So you're going to want to make sure what is the best practices right before you make the listing. All right. And you're going to know, like, you're going to get a big error message if you can't do it the right way. All right. So anyways, at the very least, put that brand name in the manufacturer. Hopefully you can put the brand name right here as well too. Okay. Manufacturer part number. This is kind of like your own internal stuff. These are not required. If you notice here, anything that has a red box around it, that's required. All right. So this is up to you if you want to enter in these, fields. Some of these are good, like, is assembly required? This is something that, customers might want to know. So try and fill up as many of these as possible. All right. I would fill up as many as these that are here in all of the description. I would want to actually fill up as many of these that are in all these different tabs as possible, because a lot of these actually show up in the search results. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let me go to Amazon and let me type in coffin shelf. Okay, let's go coffin shelf. Now this is just an actual search for coffin shelf, but did you guys see here on the left-hand side? Yes, there's the brand name. Yes, there's price, but here, there's the height, there's the depth, there's the width, there's the furniture and decor style, there's the furniture finish, mounting type, the home decor material, home decor theme, the shelf installation type, the shelf shape, all right, the color, the room type. If you don't have these things made in the back end of your listing, watch what happens. Like if I say, hey, I want to see all the coffin shelves that have the room type of bathroom. Well, here's the ones that all have the bathroom on it. All right. Now, there might be some ones that just got excluded because they didn't fill in that information in the back end of their listing. So like I said, take the time and do this. This isn't stuff that was in Listing Builder, because the Listing Builder is just focusing on your title, bullet points, etc. But these are definitely other fields that you want to, consider doing. All right. Fragile. This one is required. The item dimensions. You definitely want to include that here. Now, under variations, again, you don't have to worry about that for this one if you don't have a variation. Offer is very important. The seller SKU. This is important to make your own SKU. I suggest doing some kind of system as opposed to just putting in random numbers here. How I do it is, for my regular listings, I'll put, like, if it's an FBA item, I'll do FBA dash and then just something that would help me remember, like coffin shelf or something like that. All right. And then for my FBM, I would do FBM dash coffin shelf, or just coffin shelf without FBA, so that it's easy to sort within Helium 10. It's easy to sort in Seller Central, but have your own system that's easy to remember. That's probably not just a random set of numbers or letters, because you would never be able to memorize that, right? Have it be something that you can probably memorize. All right. Shipping template, you got to put that. You got to put that price. This is the retail price of your product. Don't do sale price. For now, you're not going to have a sale right off the bat, probably. MSRP. This is cool sometimes, because sometimes on the actual listings, like none of these guys have it right here, but you'll see something that looks like this. Now, the reason why it has this is because they have a coupon, but sometimes on the actual page, if you have an MSRP and a lower price, it'll show a strike through of it. All right. It'll show a strike through right here, and it kind of looks attractive to customers. So put a MSRP higher than your retail price. This one here, it's putting a quantity because this is a fulfilled by merchant. All right. So I would actually, if this was an FBA item, I would actually need to click this one here. Amazon will ship and provide customer service. And then as you can see now, there's no field here for quantity. All right. Condition, this is something that's required. Obviously, always do new here. All right. And max order quantity. This is something that if you're doing discounts, you don't want to have people be able to order a whole bunch at one time. You might want to put this in here. You can actually control this from the Helium 10 tool called Inventory Protector. All right. I usually, put a max of 10 sometimes here anyways. All right. Or you can just leave it blank. That means somebody can order 100 pieces if they wanted to. Here's a little pro tip. If it's FBA, always put here, yes. Offering can be gift message and is gift wrapped available. You don't have to pay for this. This is kind of cool. If somebody selects this when they purchase it, Amazon charges the customer for this, and it doesn't come out of your commission or anything from this order. All right. So this is a no-brainer. A lot of sellers don't do this. You need to go ahead and put offering can be gift message and is gift wrap available, and that'll give you a benefit over the customers who might not have that available because they think they have to pay extra for it. All right. Offer start date. This is super important. All right. In the Maldives honeymoon method that I talked about in Serious Sellers podcast episode 200 and 250, one of the things I talk about is not creating your listing until the very day you're going to start selling it. But if you don't have the ability to do that because you don't have your own warehouse or something, and you have to create this listing in order to give your Chinese factory the FN SKU number, so it could be like maybe 3 months before you actually get the product, you need to put an offer start date way in the future, like the approximate date that you think you're going to actually have the product in, so that you don't waste your honeymoon period. All right. So offer start date is something you need to do. There's different compliance things that you might need to have, especially if your product has batteries. So make sure to check these out. The next tab here, very important, is your images. All right. Don't forget your very first image, your main image has to be on a white background. You're going to put your other images here, like infographics. You're going to want to put some maybe lifestyle images, some details, et cetera, et cetera. You can definitely try and use all at least seven images right here. All right. Description. This is where you are going to put in the description that you made in your listing builder. All right. So actually here, I didn't make a description because I'm using A+ content. A+ content we talked about in another module. If you have A+ content, you don't actually display this description, but you should still have a description in the back end so that you can be indexed for more keywords. Nobody can see it, but it's still part of your listing. All right. So for example, here, this is a purple coffin shelf. Let me just to show you. Let's pretend that this is the description and it was in my listing builder right here in the description. All right. So I would have just copied it from here, right? Copy the description, and I'm going to go and just paste it right here. Now, here's the point, or here's the part that's important. Key product features. What are these? These are your bullet points. All right. So Amazon calls it key product features. So you notice there's only one line here. Well, you can just add more. And again, like Kevin said, sometimes you can do 5, sometimes you can do like up to 10 or 11. Look at this. I can still go more beyond 5. What I'm going to do for my listing builder, I go up to my bullet points and I just copy and paste all of these. All right. I copy this first bullet point and I paste it right here. And then I just keep going with my other bullet points. All right. Under keywords, sometimes you have subject matter, sometimes you don't. The cool thing about listing builder is that if you put subject matter here, in most cases, it's actually going to upload subject matter. So you actually, being a Helium 10 user, you have an advantage over other sellers because you can actually have a very vital piece of your listing from the subject matter that you can't do without Helium 10. Like you cannot, obviously right here, you cannot put subject matter, right? It's disappeared. A lot of listings don't have subject matter anymore, but with Listing Builder, if you filled it out, you're going to be able to sync that later on with your listing. So make sure to check the learn videos in Listing Builder in order to see how to do that later. But this first one, I cannot copy the subject matter to here because there's literally no field. So I would just copy the search terms from my Listing Builder and I would paste it right here. Under more details, again, these are a lot more of the different categories, subcategories of different fields that you might have to, put in here, package quantities. There's that launch date. This is when customers will start viewing that product. This was actually the one that I was talking about that you need to set into the future what your launch date is. and the release date as well. I wouldn't do this because this is kind of like for pre-orders. You probably don't want to do pre-orders for your listing. You need to put your package dimensions, your weight, seating. There's going to be a lot of things that you don't need. Like obviously a coffin shelf does not have seating capacity. So when I said, hey, try and fill out as many of these as possible, I mean, that doesn't mean throw in random stuff here if it's not applicable to your product. All right. But there's a lot of different things here. Remember that one about furniture finish? Where was that? I think that was right here in the search results. Let me find that here. Yeah, you can see it right here, finish. All right. So if I hit black here, you see the black ones are showing up. So this furniture finish, you want to make sure to have number of shelves, different things like that as well. Here's the room type that you'd want to be able to put in, etc. So once you do everything and do all the required parts of this listing, you hit save and finish. You'll notice that this button right here is gray. That's because I didn't fill in all of the required fields there. So I'm not going to be able to hit save and finish until that is the case. But guys, this is just a general overview of how now you bring your listing live. And now what's going to happen here is you hit save and finish if you did it right, unlike me, and it's actually going to take, maybe about, 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes as fast as 10 minutes to show up on Amazon. And then what you can do is you can just check to make sure that everything looks copacetic. For images, it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes an hour or even 2 hours for the images to show up. But after you get it up on Amazon, take a look, make sure everything uploaded the way you want. And now you are going to have this listing in your Seller Central account. And then in the future, you can actually go back into Listing Builder and sync it automatically instead of having to copy and paste these different fields. So make sure to get inside of Listing Builder more of the training on that. So I hope you were able to learn how to create your listing. You technically didn't need Helium 10 for this. Like if for whatever reason you're not using Helium 10 anymore, go back to this video because you would just have to fill in all of these things manually inside of Seller Central as opposed to being able to copy and paste it from Listing Builder. But if you guys have any questions at all, make sure to tag us in the Helium 10 members Facebook group. Other people would be able to ask or help you. If you're a member of the Freedom Ticket Extra program, twice a week, there's an expert on there, Kevin King or myself or other people that you can actually, reach out to us so that we can answer any listing building questions that you might have. And we're looking into launching another Facebook Live kind of show where we talk about listing optimization. So make sure to rewatch all of these videos here in week 8 of Freedom Ticket because this is critical, guys, in order to have a listing that converts. You could have the best product in the world. You could have the best keywords in the world. But if you don't have a well-optimized listing, that's all for naught. All right. So this is something that should definitely not be glossed over. So I hope this is helpful to you and we'll see you in the next module.